G'day, how you going? Ian Aplis here, acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to my video. I want to teach you how to paint in acrylic, and you will see the size of my canvas that I'm using, and I'll also have the colours that I'm using in this video going up the screen. So if you've got the same colours or something similar, get them together and play and pause and paint along with me. Alright, so going to be a beautiful river, foliage, background, midground and foreground, showing lots of depth. So let's get right into it. So in this layout, I've got my horizon line a bit under halfway. I've got some side ground coming in and some side rocks. I want that about that far into the centre, and I'm going to have it double stepped coming about here. There'll be a distant mountain poking up and just some kind of trees lingering over into the middle here, bits of mist. So that's what we're going to do. So I want to get the sky area done first, and then we'll bring that mountain into play. Now, the best way to tackle any acrylic painting sky, I'm going to grab my craft white and mix it with some retarder. If you're going to blend clouds the way I do, or colours, this is the best way to start off. My canvas is already pre-primed. Now I'll get the sky half of the painting put on, which is about here, just about there. Push it on, and I'll just come to the tip of this, put it on a brush, and I will iron it out to a nice thin even coat. Got that far, you can do it. Now I've got my cerulean blue. I'll put that on there first before I add the grey, because I want a bit of grey overcasty vibe in this sky. So I'll just start straight at the top, pushing it, get it into there, coming across the top, and then I'll just start bringing it down, crisscrossing it down to help bring it down. Like that. Doesn't matter if it goes lighter towards the bottom here, because in any sky, if you're learning your acrylics, that's the vibe you want. Darker coming light, it creates that sphere illusion that you're looking at, the sphere shape of the planet. Now I want to add the grey to that, just to make it more cold and overcast. So I'm just simply going to wipe my brush on a cloth and then pick up that grey on its own, and I'll bring this from the bottom up. But don't forget, I'm going to have a mountain in there, so I need to make sure my mountain's not going to, I won't have it as big, so I'll start about here. Yeah, that's cool. Cool, and I'll crisscross some of that here now. That's cool. And to me, this is a simple beginner's way to paint a sky, just that cerulean blue and this mid-tone grey. Now I'm going to stroke it left and right like a pure gentleman and get it nice across the canvas like that. There you go, another step. That was not so hard, you can do it. Now, do you want clouds in your sky? Up to you. If you do, grab yourself a blending brush, a kitchen cloth, and I like to put them on with a fan brush, hog bristle, and the titanium white out of my tube. This is the simplest way to do effective clouds in acrylic. Watch what I do here. Now this is all wet, it's got that retarded craft paint underneath. I'm going to start maybe in the middle, and I want to get kind of over the head look. Now some of this is probably going to get covered up by the mountain, which is fine, but at least they're there. Whatever's not covered up will be there. Now what I've done in my head, just so you can see, is I've created a flat coming up, flat coming up wider, cocking out that way and cocking out this way. So you've got all these bits cocking out left, right and centre. I'll blend that before I get too far ahead, and while I'm blending I like to pick up my kitchen cloth. Now watch, I like to, they're way out, so you want them to have a bit of a bum on them. So we'll just get the bum flat like that, stop, wipe your brush, and then dance, twist on and off, and then just get this cloud up into the sky there, like so. Wipe your brush as you go, twisting it, getting all that out into obliteration. Let that top bit go into nothing. Okay, and I'll get one snuck on the other side as well. There we go, just blending that top bit out. There we go. Quite achievable and easy to do. Practice that if you haven't done it before. Now I've cleaned the fan brush and I'm reloading it. And we'll probably get something little and then coming big, like a big funnel, sort of like that. This paint's beautiful and wet, and probably something in the middle there. That'll do. Done. Grab your blending brush again, I'll pull that into the middle, something like that, and I'll get this blended out. Get this one blended before I move along. Kind of straighten that up a bit. There we go. And twist the tops. The paint, the blue sky colour, is nice and wet, and it's allowing this to create that look in the paints as I'm blending it in. If it was dry and chalky, it would never happen. Simple clouded sky. Now, if you want to just put some light on those clouds, I've got some cadmium yellow medium here, just a little bit. And let's start getting a white colour with a hint of yellow lemony vibe into it. So it's not white and it's not yellow, it's just that baby powdery yellow. And we can grab this, that's perfect, okay? And you can add some yumminess to those clouds. Let's say here, mainly the top bit. So I'm going to kind of come along here into this one. Give it some body. I'll just show you on this one compared to the one next to it. Okay, grab the same blending brush. You want to set all these hard edges down and just kind of bleed it into that cloud there. Get rid of the ugly bits. Dance, look, dance and just take your time. Work out how hard you got to press. I'm not pressing heavy at all. I'm pressing so light that it's blinding me. Okay, up the top there. Some are here. Have a look at it. I'm going to look in my monitor just to get an idea. Yeah, that's got like light, sunlight from way up above somewhere hitting that. I'm happy with that. See the difference from this cloud to this cloud over here. So I've got a bit more, and I'll get some of this yellow, mainly the top of the cloud, scrape back into the middle of it. Somewhere there, maybe a little bit in that, not too much. Just get this one fluttered through. This one here, and now here, get that top. Get that top, and then bring the bottom of it into that white cloud body. There we go. See all this hard bits here? I want to disturb that just by dancing on it and then twisting bits in. I'm controlling what I'm blending in the cloud. I'm not just going willy-nilly. This is a good way to control the shape of your clouds and the way light's hitting it. It's not just one flat cloud at the back of your painting. It's got some dimension there. There we go. I don't like the way, I'm going to open that up some more. I just don't like the way that is. Just me. But there we go. We've got light actually hitting the clouds. They're not just boring white ones there, okay? Now I've got my French ultramarine and permanent alizarin, so I'll get that much over here, what I want to mix, and I'll get the permanent alizarin. Now there's a bit of mixing here, a lot of fun knowing what you can mix, and we want to make a dark purpley colour. Okay, I want me mountain kind of, I want to say the height of it about maybe here, and I want to kind of bring it down but off the painting there, and the other side I want it to come down a bit steeper down here, and let's say down to about there. That's roughly where I want this hillside. So what I want to do now is use me filbert brush with this mixture that I've used, and I want to get the tree tops done first. This is very easy with your filbert brush, and then bring it down to, you don't want a sharp solid area and it coming out like that so you see a solid line there. You want it looking natural. Nature has no lines, it's all natural. So I'll get the foliage how I want it, and then slowly, watch here, watch here. I'm starting to get it a bit thicker, a bit heavier, condensed, about there. There we go. Then from all this inside will be painted a solid colour. And it's up to you how open you have the edges. But I'm mainly teaching you in this bit right here just how to get rid of that solid line against the edge. And then, like I said, all this will be blocked in. Now, okay, just finishing down to where I finished painting the sky, just bring it along like that. I've done that all the way along there. Now, that mixture, I've grabbed some of the white just to get in there. And I want to just pale up the bottom area before we continue. The bottom area being down to the horizon line here, which is, so we'll get that about there, okay? And I've got some rocks there, so I can come in about there. So I'll get this mapped in first. So I'm just going to bring that to that bit there. Now I'll just kind of work out the best way, stabbing it or scraping it or scrumbling it, getting those two just merging together like so. I'll just go like that actually, and then I can fix this up there. I'm going to push it up with some X strokes because I want it coming up a bit higher. There we go, over here. Okay, I'll just get that all broken up there just in case you see any of that from the tree I put in front of it, just like that. Now I want to add some real green. I've got some yellow ochre and French, so I've got all this colour here. That's going to be my green. So what I want to do is gradually add the French ultramarine in there till I get the blue colour, not the blue, the green colour that I'm looking for. So at the moment it's khaki. This gives you realistic greens. I love it. There's a lot of people on the internet showing you how to paint, learn how to paint using real colours. And one of my good friends, Rod Moore, he teaches this with these three main colours, the French, the alizarin and the yellow ochre. They're your three primaries. And I've got yellow, cadmium yellow, light and medium there. Can you see there? So I'll clean that fill bit and I'm going to pick this up now. Get it inky enough so it'll come off your brush. And let's just start incorporating this colour. So get to the top of that purple colour. Get right on top of it. See how I'm on top of it? Don't come below it. You want to come on top of it. Let this jut out over there. Now it might look brown to some of you people, but that's fine. You look at green shrubs and trees, there's a lot of dead foliage, brown, dead twig stuff within them. Now I'm going to deliberately leave bits of that purple through there as well. And the next colour we put on top of this colour will create the actual lay and shape of our trees, and it just comes to life in front of your own eyes. I'll have a look in my lens later just to see how I can fare this down into the lighter bit here, or down here. I'll put a bit there now to give me a guide of where I can and can't go with it. Now that's had to dry. It's a little bit tacky, but it's dry enough to stamp the other colour onto it without mudding up. And we'll get the yellow, cadmium yellow medium with what's in the brush, and then we'll slowly add this colour into there, because if you put too much in at the beginning like I did with the blue and the red, it'll be the wrong colour. It'll be too bright, I mean too dark. There we go, even that's a bit too dark. But if you're brush mixing, make sure you turn your brush. It's so easy to forget. So I want this to filter down. Let me see the top there, look. Thin little bits. I'm going to keep moving my head backwards and forwards into my camera lens so I can have a look that's a way like squinting your eyes, and it gives you a vibe of where you're going. Yeah, it's a bit too much, so I don't want to go too much. I want us to kind of some bits trace down, creating valleys and gussets and high bits. What I'm doing, I'll just show you, like, I'm coming this way, bringing them in, right, like a sad mouth. I do that, this is what's going on in my mind, and then I come back the other way and cut them back and within each other. I'm doing that here and then here. That's what's going on in my mind. That's what my brush strokes are actually doing. To the untrained eye, you might just think I'm just dabbing willy-nilly, but I'm not. That's what I'm concentrating on doing, getting them from the edge and then boom, covering them back in like that here and there.
That's looking all right. It's quite good the way you're taking your time there, Ian.
Yeah, so take your time, no rush to do your artwork. Just tapering it, not as much as you put there. because this is going to have mist smeared all over it, so this will just make up for the detail behind the mist. Just finishing it off here. Now I want you to know as well, I'm an evolving artist. I've evolved over what I've done over time, and I want to learn, I want to teach you how to evolve with your work as well, not just staying in the one thing. Look at these trees here. I haven't got heavy forest green there. You saw the colours I used to create that, and it's looking, once that's got mist there, it's looking realistically, vibrantly happening, okay? You know what I mean? And that's why I want to show you how you can evolve with your art journey as well. Okay, with what's in the brush, I'll just dampen it a bit. With what's in the brush, come over here and grab the rest of that cadmium yellow medium. Look at the difference, how warm this is to the light. The light's cool and the cadmium yellow medium is warm, okay? So you can put this tinted colour in your watercolours if you had to. You'll see the visual difference from that colour you just put on there. Now I'll put a bit on and just have a look in my monitor just to see if it's the right vibe. I didn't dry it, but dry it. I think it'll be all right. I'll do a little bit and just see what vibe's happening here, if I've got to come a bit brighter or if it's fine. Now this is just going to be filtering around the top and cascading down just in little dribbles like that, cascading from the top a little bit. Sometimes we can get caught. I know I've done it in my past. You keep doing the same amount of all the highlighting and you're just turning your art into mush when you do that. So that's why I want to teach you how to evolve and get out of those bad habits. Oh, that's a bit hard there. I want to get a bit of light coming through here as well, hitting something, coming down in the midst of it all. These dark bits can have the light bits straight over it. Okay, just finishing it off there. There we go. Now I just want to get a bit of glare up here. And to do that, I'm just going to grab the white and rub my brush into it compared to that over there. Needed a lot more whiter. See, I've gone beyond the colour and now I'm coming back down into it. Beyond the colour. And just try not to press too heavy. Just get the fine pressure marks going to get nice beautiful foliage. Don't kill the colours underneath it. You don't want this being blobby. This has got to be very scratchy looking on top. Just here somewhere. Coming down. Fit over here to break that chunk up. Look in my monitor. There we go, and I'll probably a little bit here. Just stop, take a step back and have a look, analyse your work. Now this is how to dry. You can put that down now, relax, come back to it another day, but if you're that keen and want to keep going, we keep going. We're gonna finish here so as we can start adding the mist. So we got this colour here again, and the blue. We're mixing up that purpley colour, but not as dark as the mountain was. We wanted a bit of that vibe there. Get it the vibe I wanted a blue purple, not a red purple. And I'll get some white now, just to lighten it a bit. There we go. Now we're going to simply block in the water in the bottom of the mountain now. So I'm going to use my putter on a brush because it's a lot bigger and I'll get the job done a lot quicker. Now if it's your first time here, give me the thumbs up and give me a comment. Tell me where you're from and how you found me. What do you reckon? Now there's me rock there, so this is pretty much going to come all the way along here. Just get it to that purpley bit, there we go. And all the way along. I don't want that dark vibe there, I'll just scrumble that, there we go. And I can probably do this bit as well because that's gonna, I need something there for me rocks. So we've painted all the bottom in now. Now I've given that a dry. Now I want to put the water in first before I start putting everything over it. Now to get the right water, how do we know what colour to make that water? Very easy. Look at your sky and look at this here. That's our reflection colour, and the water's going to reflect the sky colour. So it's going to be that tone there. So I've got my French and the grey, so I'll get this and mix it together. It's a very pale colour, it's not a big bright blue colour. And then some of this will be highlighted in there where some of the mountain would be seen reflecting into it, okay? Now I'll get a bit of white onto that as well, just to get it brighter. I'm just going to use a flat brush. And that's my rocks there, so they're from about there. Water's going to come all around, probably around like that. Okay, and the bottom of the mountain's roughly about here. Okay, so there's the bottom. Okay, now what I can do is just get me water, long strokes like this. Now make sure that purpley colour is dry. Mine's still a little bit wet, I'm feeling. And I want to do long infinity strokes. Infinity strokes are like a letter 8, right? But I'm doing long ones like that. So you get the swell of the water looking like it's on the top. If you just mash this in any old way, it's going to look like snot. And this will be the most simplest, easiest, unforgettable way a beginner can put in their water. So we've simply got the sky colour, because that's what's reflecting in our water, and it's all in cahoots with the horizon line, these brush strokes. My horizon line's there, so are the brush strokes. I don't want these going all up like that, because it's just not going to look pleasing to the eye. I'll quickly get that down. This undercolour that I'm painting on top of is in the mountain as well, so it doesn't matter if some of that vibe comes through because it's up the top there. Just finishing it off now. That can have a dry. Now I know I'm going to have a tree here, so I want, before I finish the water, I want to get a bit of that glare in the water, so I'll simply use that tree colour that we've got on the palette still. It will probably make it this one here. Get some of that. I should have squirted all this with some water. I want it about here somewhere, so I'm going to just put it on like so. There we go, and I want it kind of like that, and then come within it and just do this. There we go. Get a bit more about here. See, I can get it longer out there. Push it, waterfy it. I call it waterfying it because you're making it into water. And just taper it out like that. So what I'll do, I'll just put more yellow in it. I'll just bring it down like that. I don't want to have to do this later. Put it in there, wipe your paint off, and then waterfy that. That's it. The watercolour that we put on, we can grab some of that and just gingerly splice into that. Just splice it nice and straight, long, cutting across it. There we go. Because when I add the glare to this water and the shadows, it's really going to finish it off. Now I've dried it for some mist, so I'm going to grab my putter on a brush, and I want to get this paint on the whole face of the end of those hairs. Okay. Now make sure it's fully dry. I want to pretty much mist all this area up here. I'll start from about here, getting it on, and I'll start up here, bring this top bit, I'll concentrate on top. Now you can see how this bit here, I didn't have to do all that detail there because it's coming under the mist. Now I might have to do, depending how we go, a run of it at certain thickness and then let it dry and then come back again, because we don't want to be grinding down into that undercolour and then just keep turning it into mud. You know what I mean? I hope you know what I mean. I'm pretty sure you do. I try and explain myself pretty well. Get that down on the water. See, I've got some ugly bits there which I'm not liking, so I've got to be careful of that. But this big putter on a brush works great for my mist, I discovered. Get along there. Well, I'm joining the water to the mist. And then up into here. Up here. I will do another pass of the mist. Some of this up here as well. This just has to concentrate on the top half because the bottom's going to be behind rocks here, so it's not important. Get it over that mountain where you brought it down into nothing. You know how we brought it down into nothing there? Because all this mist is going to hide it. So I've given it a dry, I've cleaned my brush out to get rid of that purpley white out of it, and I'm building up the center here and letting it fade up to the top and down into the water a bit. And you know, take your time. If you feel it's still grinding into that bottom paint, let it dry more. It doesn't have to be done in 5 minutes. And then just let it billow down and up and then stop. If you over grind one area, you're just going to really keep digging in. And it'll frustrate you. When you get frustrated, it's annoying. I want to come up there. Getting that, get those hairs out of there. Now what my main ambition is to get it the same value. Some can even whisper up there like that, not too much so. Oh, look at, I've gone undone. Okay, that's okay. I'll grind that away. There we go. Okay, now I want to make my block and ink colour for the rock, so I'm grabbing the French blue, permanent alizarin, and yellow ochre. Mix the whole three of them together. Oh, there we go. We got this sort of browny, purpley colour there. I might put the rest of that yellow in there. And I want a lighter value of this and this darker value just to map in the rocks. I'll show you what I mean. So I've got some white there, and I want to just get what's on the knife and mix it together. Need a bit more, not enough. Okay. These are the distance ones. Now from about here I want to get some, where's the middle? My middle's about here, so I want about a rock, something here. Keep it straight. Just the face of it there somewhere. Something indicating on top of that as well. I don't know, something like that. There. So the edge of my thing is about here. I want some just little ones peeking out here somewhere. And I'll use this colour to map in me rocks, and then I can darken them up as I need. Now I don't want this rock flat now. It needs to start coming around because you're close enough to start seeing the top of it. Okay, so that can just go in the water there like so, and then coming up here, I'll just block it in. That'll do, about there, and it's a bit of a rock like that. Block it in. So I'm pretty much blocking me rocks in with this colour here. I just changed the brush to a round one. Now this looks a bit, I've got to get it a bit more. There we go, a bit more going backwards there. And coming up here and then coming up for the back of it. And we'll get another one. I'll add a little bit more dark into that. I want some more rocks pretty much here. Where else will we come? Somewhere about there. And then somewhere about there. That's the bottom of me rocks. Camera picking that up? Yep. Okay, so that can be there. Just block that in. I'll get a bit more white into it. I want it really, really light. Just so beyond there, we got some kind of slight, oh, that's all right. We got some kind of landmass trying to poke through there. Should have done this before I did the rocks, but that's okay. Bit of glare on the top of there. Now I'm grabbing that dark colour that I mixed up first with all the three colours, and that's pretty much me rock colours here now. So if anything, I want the bottoms of them dark. I need my mouse stick so as I can lean on bits and bobs. And yeah, let's just try and get some rock vibes happening. Did I dry that? I did, but that's a nice big wet bit there, isn't it? I did dry the rocks. No, I've got to dry the rocks. Now this one can come down on an angle like that. It's just wrong there. Dark shadow there. Coming a bit higher up because we made a mistake with the background there, so we'll hide that. Just scratchy old rocks on the bottom. Bits of dark bits here and there. Now if we need more darks and lights, we can always add them in. It's just looking a bit flat and like a cardboard cutout rock. I don't like that look. Now grab yourself a flat brush, gingerly from the dark, just pull down a bit. Get your brush a little bit damp, not too wet though. Start again. Is the camera picking up this end rock? Yes. Start from the dark bit and just pull it out and pull that down. Not too much. We are going to have glare shooting across this water, but at least we got the vibe of the shadows there. Okay, wet your brush. I've done this before in some detail videos, like detailed reflections and that. A little habit you can get into doing with your reflections is grab your flat brush sideways and come within that dark colour and just kind of taper and scallop it out. Find the brush that's going to work, and you're just kind of breaking the solid colour into like slices. I call it scallops, but everyone's got, but you know what I mean. Now look at, I'm getting a bit of a dot at the end of each one. You don't want to do that. So
Take your time, Ian, and do it with some charisma there.
here we go. Give it a bit of a slide. Just get the edge of it scalloped bit, and some bits can wander because water has ripples and waves in it, so hence be able to get some of them to wander. And sometimes, I won't do it now, but you can get the watercolour and splice it back into this darker colour as well. Really give it that bullshit effect. I want to grab this colour here and make it very pale. So I'll incorporate some white till it's the paleness that I'm after. I'll do this before I do the detail on the rock. So what I want is some... Now the best way to do trees so they don't look weird and flat, I'll get this one done first. I've got to get it going there. Is keep them as straight as possible. See how straight that one is? I'll do another one next to it. Straight as possible, just like that. Don't get caught going bending all over the place because they can look a bit iffity-affity when you get caught doing that. And then you can come just straight. That first one has hindered me a bit there, but just straight up, straight up. Get something coming off it, straight up. That's it. Just some distant trunks in the background there. This script liner has had its day already, and that's not fair because I paid good money. I paid real money for it. See how we get them right up. Just the long sticks together make up for the busyness. Like that's why I want to do these first, so I can set the rocks back in front of them. These are in front of the mist, and then the rocks are going to be in front of them. So before we finish with our rocks, we want to put a bit of dark at the top of these, because with the foliage would create shadow. If you don't put shadows in your trunks, you're kind of missing out. So this colour down here that we mixed, just kind of darken some of them. Just so you see the darkness fade into the lighter colour below the trunk. See there, we're seeing it. And this will just make a lot of sense when you put your foliage on. Because how many times have you painted a tree? Go outside when you're driving along, look at a tree. Now don't look at the tree, well, yeah, look at the tree, but I want you to look at things that you don't normally see. And what I want you to look at is the shadows casting across all the main open areas where the trunks are. Have a look at them. Start incorporating that into your work. Like I said before, we don't normally put the dead wood colours within our greens, but if you look at the trees and shrubs along the side of the road, you'll start seeing that. So long as you're not covered in ice and snow, you'll see the dead wood colours. Now, get used to putting them in, and the shadows within the trunks. Now, all I want to do is put a foliage over some of them, and use what brush you feel is going to work. I'm going to try this one, and I'm going to take advantage of this paint here. So I want to use this darker vibe of it first, and then just slowly add the highlights to it. So I want to come here. Yeah, that's working good. See how we've got these little umbrella-y shapes? You've got to come way above your trunks though, but leave that dark you put there. I want some of it just filtering in front of the mist there, coming right out. And then over here, a bit more there. Try not to cover too much of your background. Find out what brush you like and what's going to do it for you. And if you can see how those dark bits of the trunk have come into play, I want to get it right up here somewhere. Filter it between the tops of those trunks now. Lots of sky windows. Now we're going to simply highlight that. I won't rob you, I'll show you what I'm doing over here as well. I've had a few comments where people say, at least you don't fast forward the video and something's already done. I can understand people doing that in their tutorials because it's just so time consuming, but I'm going to give it a go. I'll get all this over here for you. Right down in front of that mist there. There's another bit here coming right off the painting, so I'll get that. I want a gap between the two. There we go. Coming down here. Now I've got to save some of this paint because when I put my rocks on here, I might need some of it back, who knows, but there we go. Now I grabbed that paint and I grabbed the rest of the cadmium yellow light, and I'm putting some white in there as well to mint it because I want it not to clash with the ones behind it. Now dry what you've got on your canvas so this will stick. If you don't dry it, you might get mudding up and you'll be wondering why.
Yeah, and it's just because you weren't listening.
So look at your layouts. These trees are obviously further back than these ones, so I want that behind and this clump in front. So in my mind, even though I'm not in Carolina, that ball will be here and that ball will be there, so it'll be like that. And we'll go for it. I'm getting it nice and hairy. I need it a bit more open. Coming right over that dark stuff you put on there. Let me look in the monitor there. Yeah, I had it a bit wet. That's why those blobs are real blobby. I I want to get that there like so. I'll bring this bit uppy day there and come in front down. I don't like the sound my easel's making, shaking in the brush strokes. And a bit here, because I'm going to add more white to this. This side seems to be working better than the other side for some reason, but anyway. So you just don't want this clashing with the background you got there. See lots of sky within it. That's looking all right. I'm just looking in the monitor there. I can see a lot of stampy actions there, so I'll go across them so it doesn't look like that. Twist the brush around, get all sorts happening with it. Alright, I've got a lot more white into that now. Get the shape of these trees happening with this white. Pushing that background trees back, like so. Coming over the mist there, like so. Let me have a look, looking good. I don't like that leg there, so I'll come across that. There we go, we've got a nice deep bit looking in there. And I'll get this coming. Ah, I worked it out. My glass was just hitting there and it was squeaking. Oh, the things that annoy us, eh? I just want the one side of this highlighted over here and just coming back in a little bit so it doesn't look weird. Coming in front of that one. I've just scratched some of this into that green there as well. See how easy this is? You can do it. Okay, I'll get these rocks coming into play and then we'll bring these ones in. So I want to put my light colour on there, but before I do, I'm picking up this colour. This is the dark colour we had over here before, all the three mixed together. Because if I try and put my colours on that lighter colour, it's not going to work. So what I want to do is simply get this now, and I'm going to put it pretty much where I want my light colour to be. And then once I've done this, it's important that you dry it so as the other colour will stick on, okay? Now make sure you dry your rocks, because if you don't, it'll keep mudding up and you'll be wondering why it didn't work for me.
And it's simply because you weren't listening.
Now I've just got simple yellow green out of the tube, okay? Australian yellow green. Many different brands sell yellow green, or you can mix up a vibrant colour yourself. And we want to get this sitting on top of this now. Now leave a lot of the darks within it, but nice and fine. Come down your rock, leaving the dark shadows there where you came down. This is just going to be our moss. Very easy to do. Now I said dry it, yes I did say that. And I simply have some cadmium yellow light that I will be putting in with this. Now this side's got to come down here a bit. Coming up. I'm going to have it in like streaking down into like strands. Is that the word I'm looking for? I want it kind of stranding down the rock like so. Stranding down the rock. Just like I'm trying to create moss. I've dried that. I am getting a little bit of that colour, just hinting into the shadow there. Now I'll wipe the brush. I haven't washed it, I've just wiped that paint off. And I want to pick up the cadmium yellow light. Okay, and then get a bit of it mixed with that yellow green, just so we got a highlighted colour of that yellow green. This colour is the finishing colour of our rock. Is pretty much our moss. All those other colours we put on, we're just setting it up for it to show its true colours, so to speak. I do want to try and get it looking as natural as possible, so and just because you need to see it, I've just picked up the darker colour, putting it back. I'll dry it, then I'll radiate the green back over it again. See what you do? I've dried it, and I'm back, just putting that back. I nearly picked up the same colour yellow to put it back over there, then I would have been back to where I started from. Here. Grab some of that brighter colour. Gingerly. Put that in there as well. Gingerly, carefully. I just want to show you something here I've just noticed. I'm picking up with this colour here, the dark colour and the medium colour. I'm just sort of splicing them together a bit. And I'm going to do this by looking into there. I want to just see shadow over that rock there. Maybe I did justice, maybe I didn't. Here we go. I think it's all right. Just grabbing this dark colour again on a filbert brush, and now we can start setting all this back. So we're pretty much coming here, there. I'll get it. Don't be too botanic. You want the top edge sharp though, because what I'm trying to do, where are we? I want to come down as well, so jingle jangle it out. Where is my rock? Where is my paint? Where's my rocks coming to? They're coming pretty much past all that, because I want that. I'm trying to not have the, look at this ridge of paint, I don't like it. Hang on a minute, I'll get back to what I was saying. I'll show you what you do when you get a ridge of paint like that and you don't like it. My hand's dry, come from the dry side and just simply go like that, bang, and you've got rid of it. And then you can come back. There you go, I've got no ridge of paint there now. I want this, the horizon's there, but I want this a bit lower than the horizon. And then this rock is going to come along there, bring it up, and now there's another one here, way there, boom, bring it in, and all this will be blocked in like so for our dark colours. I'm just using this colour because it's what I got and it's within the painting. And this can come all the way in. Get that all brushed nice and neat. Another set of rocks, let's say, coming this way. So that's what I know in my head with all the mass of the darkness there, what's going on. Another bit here, I'm just taking advantage of where the crappy water looks, and I'm just going over that. Another one about here, all the way out to there. Just trying to get some, I don't want it just to end down like that. I'm trying to put a bit more spunk and charisma in this thing, but I do want it enough to have moss growing on it as well. I've got the camera on while I'm just doing this because I want to show you, like, see how I did this little ribbon underneath there? I've done it with ocean islands and that. They're kind of nice having just some darker bits spunking out there like so. So I thought I'll turn the camera on just to show you that. Now, like I did before on the other side, you want to get all this scalloped. Scallop it into that dark bit there, leaving some of the blue in there, and then you can darken it up a roundabout way, and that'll just act like a shadow of that rock in there. Let me have a look. It's just adding that final detail of bullshit. Okay, now before I put the moss, so to speak, on them, I've grabbed the lighter colour, and I pretty much want to create the rocks. Like, I've got to put the darker colour for the moss back on there, but I need this to create the rock. So there's a rock there, right? Top of it here, coming along. I'll take advantage of that and bring that one down as another rock. Rock, it's a rock. There we go, is a rock there. Now I want to get this rock coming along, because I want the bottoms of them dark. There we go, where it's near the water. Different values of the rock shaping around. There we go. Now we can have another one here. Cranky coming across there, cutting that back, and pretty much, I don't want them all like that, so I've changed the face of this to about there and get it all weird and cranky like. Is that the word, cranky? Yeah, that looks like a rock. And we can probably have something jangling in there somewhere. Pushing it, boom, right, this one here. Leave that dark there. Our camera is in the right spot. Grabbing the ultramarine blue and the permanent we're making up that purple colour. The colour we made for the background of the mountain we put in at the beginning of the video. So this is a simple bit now. We've got our rock. The rocks are the colour they're going to be. I'll try and use this brush. I might have to change it. Now I want to just put this where I want my moss. Okay, so we're getting the darker colour there. And I'm going to creep it down here and there. These rocks are full of moss and overgrowth. Hit the paint, and I want to kind of lace it down the rock face there. This is all going to be covered up with the moss colour, but you just need this to get the moss to stand out. Or water grass, I don't know. And now we've got the yellow-green on the same brush, creating our moss colour going over that dark purple. It's going to allow this to have its own depth.
I don't know if I said it or not, but I did dry it.
Now down here I've got cadmium yellow medium. I'll get a little bit of that yellow green. And we'll start over here. Now we don't need as much as this as what we just put on there with the yellow green. This is just highlighting the top areas, so don't get too caught up in it. I'll come about here. If I can get some on my brush. There we go. I'll have a look at my monitor later. If I feel I've lost too much of it, I'll simply stamp it back over the brighter bits where I feel it's too much. That's looking all right. Now I've just noticed, look at this side to that side. That one looks more natural growing on the rock. This one looks like a blob, a blob, a blob, a blob, a blob. I don't like that. So I want to kind of distort that and try and unblobulate it. So hopefully I'll do a bit and just see how it's looking. That area is looking a little bit better now. So I've got to just do that, unblobulate it, if that's a word. I do make up a lot of words, so do excuse me for being myself. Back to that darker colour. I've just got it on the round brush, and I don't know, let's see if we can scrumble some kind of shadow in there, give it a sense of realism. What's going on there? Come on. I've got my script liner and pure black, and I'm just bringing up some dark branches within this stuff. I'm just looking in the openings here, like see here. Oh, my liner's had it. And getting some bits and bobs like that. See the white? I got white just with a little bit of yellow dabbed onto the brush, because I want it to be white but just gingerly. I will grab my bullshit stick to make it easier, because I want to get the horizon line now kind of smeared in. So I want to get this smeared there, a glare there. Is that camera picking it up? I hope so. Coming down against that rock there and just smearing out there. This will keep my lines nice and straight. And if some of this is too yellowy, well then you can crisp it up with some pure white. I want bands of this light coming from right in that crack there that I put. That's got to have a nice glary bit of bright colour in there. Coming across there. Just hitting it, because I want a glare there. Coming down. Oh, get some water hitting there. And this stick won't let if I pull the stick away, you can see my brush strokes, they're not faltering. It's bullshit how they stay straight. That's why, for those people that are new here, wonder why I use the word bullshit. It's a polite way of saying, wow, that's crazy how that worked. We're getting some, look at this, fine lines. I don't like getting a knife and putting big cartoon lines on my paintings anymore. I used to in my early days, but when you evolve, you just change your ways. And I'm telling you now, a lot of people out there, if anything, if they can get any sense of realism in their paintings, they'll be loving it. And that's just adding some glare. This stick, I'm just resting on it, hitting the canvas when I feel. Coming from behind that rock. Bits here. Now I'm not using the stick here, so let's hope I don't bugger it up. We're sitting those reflections down now. I'm just kind of making some kind of glare in the water here. You can see in doing this just how the lights complement the darks and so on. Okay, just grabbing the pure white, and I want the pure white mainly just gingerly glaring here. Now dry your piece if it's wet, because you want this white to stand out. And I do want a white glare. This bit here, I want this glaring up as well. And I don't know, you can probably, a little bit mainly, probably just here cressing. Just where you might want bits of wind hitting the water, maybe a little bit harder than normal. A little bit of white in here. Okay, I'll sign this and we'll whack a frame on it. And I want to thank my patrons who support me every month, and my YouTube channel members who became a member for the price of a cup of coffee. Patrons and members, they get perks, early content, shout outs, all sorts of different things they get. All right, let's whack a frame on this and see how she looks. There we go, that's not too shabby. We've got a leafy, misty swamp, I suppose. You can put even a dead stick in there, I just thought of it then. Not too bad, and with a bit of practice, I know you can do it. Well, that was beautiful and fun. I enjoyed doing that painting. A lot of different things going on in there. If you like what I'm doing, you tell your friends. But if you don't like what I'm doing, you tell everybody. Also, check out this other video of mine, and do feel free to subscribe. Goodbye, good luck, and good on ya.